Welcome back to day 2 of Sanity. We're practicing 7 days of sanity leading up to the election here and really trying to keep your peace and your composure with everything that's going on around you. Yesterday we talked about that first tool about identifying your values. Today we're going to talk about this whole idea of managing emotional triggers and the ideal of responding versus reacting to any given situation. Well, you might wonder, well, what does that mean? A response is something that's more measured, it's more calm, it's more thoughtful, probably includes a big deep breath before just saying whatever's on your mind. So, how do we do that? Well, really, it's about remaining calm and not being pushed off balance by the comments or actions of other people around you. And especially when emotions run high, we know that our brain has two lobes. One of them is working on emotions and the other one is working on kind of calculations, etc. As you feel yourself getting revved up, that's on the emotional side of your brain. You're getting hijacked. And so what we want to do is discharge that energy and move into the space that is more calculating. So we can ask ourselves questions or we can ask others questions that rely on calculation. So when did this start? So you have to think back to, well, it began on this date. Or how many times has that happened? Or if you put this and this together, it could be as simple as adding two numbers together that'll get you out of that emotional spiraling hijack. Okay? So, triggers are everywhere, especially during the election season. Even if you're a moderate, you will hear people say things that you could choose to take offense at. Or you could ignore it, you could attribute their comments to something else. The goal is not to avoid triggers. Our life would be very much like a rubber room if we avoid triggers. It's to really learn how to respond in a thoughtful manner and not react impulsively. If we react, we give away our power. Good news, you can recognize this before it's going to happen, before it takes control. One of the best tools to do that is to anticipate. For example, you're going out to dinner with your friends Bill and Mary. Bill and Mary happen to hold contrary opinions about certain topics than you do. You can anticipate, since it's going to be on the news channels, it's going to be the buzz that's happening around you, that the topics will come up. Create a plan. This would be like being on a diet, knowing you're going to a restaurant that has unhealthy food. You might go online, you might look at the menu ahead of time and choose the healthy option before you ever get handed a menu. I'm going to have a salad, I'm going to add the chicken, and I'm going to have a side of guacamole. Okay, so you're filling yourself, you're arming yourself with information ahead of time. You're going to be confident that you get there, and you can order this. Now, sometimes something comes out of left field. The chef says, we're out of chicken. Or, I'm sorry, we're out of guacamole. What will you do? Have a plan B. I was choosing chicken because I wanted a healthy protein. What do you recommend? Okay. Or I was choosing the guacamole because it was a healthy fat. What do you recommend? Look for alternatives based on the intention. So back to the discussion with Bill and Mary and them, just you're confident that, or maybe you're not confident. You think it's a possibility it will come up. How do you want to respond? You basically want to rehearse the situation ahead of time and have a planned script. So think about this thing, they bring up the hostility that's present, and they're blaming a certain side, and you don't agree. You might say, we all have a part in this. Or you might say something like, I choose to look at the positive actions that people are taking. Or whatever it might be, have a plan, have it ready, and if you really need space, you can always excuse yourself and use the restroom. Now, you might be scrolling on your phone in the restroom. You might actually not even go in the restroom. You might just take a little walk. Sometimes it can be helpful to discharge energy with physical actions. So walking around. Sometimes you can't walk around. One of the best things you can do is play with something tactile in a pocket. Some paper clips, your car keys, coins, things like that just give you a chance to discharge some of that energy with your hands. But breathing is quite satisfying. Now, you probably don't want to take big, huge yoga deep breaths at the dinner table. People are like, are you okay? Are you having a heart attack? But just simple breathing and talking to yourself like, I'm above this. I'm not going to get pulled into this situation. I have concern for everyone. I want the best for everyone, and so on and so on. These things have a plan. So think about these ideas that you have about what will make you feel in control and you can respond properly. So think about the last time that you really felt triggered. Maybe somebody said something that you felt was totally ignorant. What was that about? It was probably not the ignorant statement that they made. It was how insulting you found that people didn't take the time to educate themselves. Right? Sometimes a trigger is a past frustration. Sometimes it's a fear. Knowing that ahead of time, we can change how we respond. So when you are offended by what Bill and Mary say over dinner, or you find yourself triggered, what's behind that? Is it because you think they're baiting you, that they're ignorant, that they didn't take the time to educate themselves, that they have a different set of values than you do? What is the situation, and can you choose a response that is in alignment with that? Now, remember, going back to yesterday when we talked about values, we also talked about how you want to be labeled if you had a brand. So again, when it comes to this trigger and your response, think about what a negative reaction brand would be. Might be hostile, bitchy, ignorant, whatever it might be, and what the responsive style brand would be. It might be measured, relaxed, unattached, calm, educated, informed. Those are things that you can use to help fuel yourself in your response to these situations. So, homework for today to go with day 2 is just take a few deep breaths. Ground yourself either by physically walking and getting rid of that energy, or holding on to something in a pocket like coins, paper clips, keys, and then having a plan for how you are going to respond. Okay? So last time I got triggered, I did this, I got in an argument, things got heated. This time, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to excuse myself from the table. I'm going to assume positive intent. I'm going to wish benevolence on everyone. Whatever it might be, have a plan. Have a plan. And this goes for upcoming Thanksgiving, Christmas, time with the family, all that stuff. It's not just for this week and the election. So, write down your most common triggers, knowing that you have control over them. Okay, so that's the homework. Join us back here tomorrow. We're going to have day 3 of Sanity. We're really looking forward to it. Now, if you want to know more about mastering your emotions, know that the book Meet Me in the Middle is on sale at Amazon just for this week to support people through the election. And we also have it newly available on Audible. So, links below if you need it. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.